It's Friday. Notice I say yay. It's a good day. Yeah, it's an exciting day to be here. And I have a new hat. And I'm excited about the hat. I'm wearing the hat. This is my swag for Auto Show, which I'm also really excited about. Auto Show is coming up, like soon, next week. So busy it's going to be, but I'm really looking forward to it. What's going on with you? Are you ready for the weekend? Any big plans? I want to know what you're doing. I want to know what you're up to. And of course, I want to know what your traffic and police questions are, because that's what I'm kind of all about. Answering stuff and things. All right, let me just go into the what. It's a little slippery outside. And I got to give you some background on why I'm bringing up the slipperiness of the outside. And it's not driving. It's the other hazard, walking. I've fallen down twice in the last 2 weeks. It was a minor thing. The first one was a slip down my steps at the front of my house. I didn't appropriately salt on the one portion of stair that I put my foot on. It was minor. It was slow motion. I actually have video of it. It was pathetic. But I didn't get hurt. And that's important. Then a couple of days, the next week, I went walking and everything was, hunky-dory until I hit a piece of ice that was covered in a light sprinkle of snow. And then I did what I think Bugs Bunny would normally do, where the feet start moving, but you don't go anywhere. And then I was flat on my face. And I was very fortunate not to get hurt. My right elbow was a little sore because I stupidly, well, was it stupid? Maybe it was a good thing that I braced myself as I fell and cushioned the blow. So I didn't fall face first into the concrete or the ice. I didn't get injured severely, just, a little sore on the arm. But then today I was, was it ice? I don't know if it was ice or a little clump of snow that didn't want to, collapse under my weight. And it just threw me off balance. And I caught myself, didn't fall. But what I'm trying to get at, folks, is be careful out there. A slip and fall is serious. I often argue, and I do argue with the cycling community. They say helmets are not required. They're not important. They don't prevent collisions. And I'm like, you're right. They don't stop collisions. They prevent head injuries. And they said, well, if that's the case, pedestrians should wear them too. And after my 3 recent almost getting hurt situations, I'm like, maybe I should start wearing a helmet when I walk my kids to school. Just saying. Also, helmets are important. You should wear them. It's a thing. I don't know why the cycling community wants to argue with me so much. My name is Sean Shapiro. I am a former police officer who talks about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff all the time. That's what I'm doing here today for Ask a Traffic Cop. I'm going to answer your traffic and police questions. And of course, if you can't get the concept from the background, step and repeat, that wall of logos, Barrett Legal is the sponsor of this show. So if you are, wanting to thank them for helping keep the lights on here, you can do that. You can go to their site, and they actually have a promotion for our listeners, our viewers, the people who come here for stuff and things. They are wanting to give you a deal on a will. Do you have a will? You want to control the way the government deals with your assets in your, the event of your unfortunate demise? Things are going to happen. Death and taxes. That's what's guaranteed. Well, oddly enough, they can help you with the tax problem because they have their tax specialists. And if you need a will, they'll give you $50 off a will, and they'll give you a free will for your spouse. So it's normally $400 for a will. They'll give it to you for $350 and give you a free $400 will for your spouse. I wonder if they do it for your cousin or your brother or somebody you're not married to. I don't know. I haven't asked them that, but it's a good question to ask them. Let's put 45 on the clock, and that's the timer for the questions that we'll be answering, and then we'll get into dad jokes. I didn't do dad jokes last week, so I have the benefit of dad jokes from from Wednesday. I've been provided the dad jokes by the jokesters themselves. Good morning to greetings and salutations. No, it's good morning to Akela, who says greetings and salutations. Menraj, who says happy morning, Sean. Cheers. I hope that's orange juice in the glass, but it's a little early but yes, cheers. Good morning. Sorry, really bad attempt at a joke. Kayla's packing and shopping. Okay, flagging some dad jokes, flagging the quotes. And I have in my Telegram group, which, by the way, if you want to join our Telegram group, you can go to telegram.trafficcop.ca. It'll take you to our Telegram group where we chat about stuff and things all the time. All right. Okay. This is true. Kayla says that the jokes are from his bullet. He has a subscription on a newsletter that he puts out, and he puts the jokes there. He also says it's 5 o'clock somewhere, so drinks are okay. Okay, so here is I'm doing this a little out of order. We're going to quickly do a couple of dad jokes that I missed on Wednesday, and then we're going to get into your questions. But throw your questions up on the screen in the meantime. Also, I want to talk about the show. We're going to talk about recruiting. So we're going to talk about recruiting to police services because I like looking at it. We're going to talk about the auto show. We're going to talk about a new pilot project coming out. I just read an article, and someone sent me the fact that it was happening. But there's a pilot project coming out where they're going to put photo enforcement, automatic enforcement cameras on TTC vehicles, streetcars in particular, for when people run past the door. So we'll get into that a little bit and chat about it, see what there is to see. And then, of course, I've got to talk about my hat because it's a story and the sticker that I think I'm going to produce. So let me know what you think of the hat, but we'll talk more about that. Let's start with a quick couple of dad jokes. Should I put it on the screen? Maybe I'll do that. Okay, here's dad jokes from, here we go. First dad joke. And Evandro, what's going on? Good to see you, brother. And he likes the hat, so that's good. That's awesome. So here's dad joke number 1. I never thought that orthopedic shoes would work well for me, but after trying a pair, I stand corrected. That's good. I like that. I think I need orthotics. I used to have them. I stopped wearing them. I need them again. They just make you better. Your feet, your knees, everything is less painful. But sometimes dad jokes are painful, even if your feet don't hurt. Okay. I got a lot of cutting and pasting here. I got buttons ready. I got my, here we go. Star Wars dad joke. What did R2-D2 say when he met BB-8? I like the way you roll. I hope people understand the dad joke of the Star Wars dad joke, because BB-8 is from the newer generation of Star Wars, and he rolls. He doesn't have the tripod wheelie things. He's a ball with a. It's cool. I thought they were going to make a really cool remote control one, and I think they made an attempt at one. It was that rolling toy, but I don't know if they did a good job of it. Did anyone get one? Did anyone see one? Was it good? Okay. We got, you know what, I'll just because I don't want to leave the people who are waiting for their questions to be answered in the lurch, I'll put these in for later. That's a long dad joke. These are the ones from last week. I keep saying last week. It was from Wednesday. And here's a Star Wars dad joke, copying and pasting into the show notes. I guess I could put them in the show notes. I'm actually putting them in to share with all y'all. Okay. A William A. Ward quote. Very good. And apparently there's a news conference that's going on with Toronto Police dealing with a cold case. So they're interrupting with my flow. But you know what? They've got important stuff to talk about. And if you want to learn about a cold case, apparently they're doing a news conference right now. So thank you for letting me know. Liz, what's going on? How you doing? Okay, I'm going to cut. This is coming in from Instagram, but it's from Liz, and I'll put you on screen. Cancel that, copy there. Here is the comment from Liz, who says, each time you bring up how some cyclists feel that helmets are unnecessary, I get so mad at them. Helmets are like insurance or seatbelts. We only need them when something sadly goes wrong. You couldn't be more right. Here's the deal. Very often, people get hurt standing still. They fall over and get a head injury. They happen to be on a bicycle, and sometimes that helmet's there to save their life or their brain. It's not about dying necessarily. It's about not living a horrible existence because you don't have the ability to function the way you did 5 minutes before your brain injury. Head injuries are a serious thing. I'm very thankful that I didn't get a concussion or hurt myself when I fell down this week, because it could have been really bad. Like people, like older people, especially. And now I'm in the category where a 300-pound guy dropping that weight onto a hard surface, it's not fun. It doesn't feel good. And if you're prepared for it, like you're a martial artist, you can do that drop and what's called break fall, but not when you're carrying your kid's backpack and you're walking. Like there's no way to elegantly do this. On the mats is a different story. In a fight is a different story. Mind you, in a fight, usually you drop yourself on the person you're fighting with, but that's another story. All right. Toronto Roadcam says, good morning. Good morning to you. Pumper Dave says, can you remind people they should have their lights on in bad weather? Oh, yeah. Let's talk about headlights. Headlights are a great thing. So are taillights. And many people think that when the vehicle or the area in front of their vehicle is illuminated, that their headlights are on. Is a big difference. That's why you always hear people talking about full headlight system. Now, many of us have become very, very used to automatic on and off lights. I actually think they should be on all the time. Why do we need to turn them off during the day? Just leave them on all the time. Okay, you'll burn a little electricity. You're generating it as you go. So let's just make them all on all the time. Just that's it. Turn off the car, lights go off. Turn the lights on when you get up. That would make a lot of sense. But as Pumper Dave says, it's really important in poor weather. Even if it doesn't trigger your lighting system, manually override it. Now, I'm not talking about putting your hazard lights on because I think that's ridiculous. But turn on your full headlight system so you can more easily be seen. It's all about being seen. People like to see you. And then, slow down and not hit you. The ghost cars, as I like to call them. And this goes beyond that of bad weather. Just nighttime. Turn your headlight system on because, yeah, people need to see you. And they still have responsibility not to hit you, but it's really great to give them a hint. And in the poor visibility, it's even more important. But it's always important. Let's just turn your bloody headlights on is what I'm trying to say. Thank you, Pumper Dave. Okay, Omni Sky, I think is the way we read your username. Apologies if it's not. If you seen a squirrel driving, could it get arrested? I really just want to focus on squirrel driving. I'd be impressed if it was an actual squirrel. Okay, and thank you for the follow, because Omni Sky followed the host. That's me. My name is Sean Shapiro, former police officer, answering your traffic and police questions. Okay, why don't people going under the speed limit in the left lane get pulled over? How much under the speed limit? Well, first of all, under the speed limit, they shouldn't be there. They should be in the right lane. But I'm always curious to know how much under does it bother people? Is it 2 under, 4 under, 8 under, 12 under? Like, what is the magic number that someone wouldn't be annoyed by someone driving in the left lane? Left lane is intended for faster moving traffic, which, by the way, cannot exceed the posted limit. So if they're doing 100 and that's what slower is, that's legal. They really shouldn't. I was having this article with a journalist from the Globe and Mail a couple nights ago because we talk about it on a regular basis. Two laws can't contradict each other. You can't write a law that then makes the other law disappear unless there's a specific caveat, like, for instance, exemptions in a law for certain things. But you can't say, slower moving traffic has to move right for people who are breaking the law, speeding. That they don't cancel each other out. You can't, like, passing doesn't allow you to exceed the posted speed limit. Anyway, we'll come back to this another time, but you know what I'm trying to say, or maybe you don't. Where are you going to be next week? This is not an ad read. It's just telling you where I'm going to be. I'm going to be at the auto show, and you can come out and hang out and say hello at the Toronto Police booth. I can flash the logo. We're going to be at the Toronto Police booth on the level 800. I told someone on level 600 before. I got my my credentials, and apparently the test track is, if you look at this mappity map, it's down at level 800. I thought for some reason it was level 600. I was wrong. Again, come by and see us at the show. If you're coming already, it's a fantastic event. It runs from the 13th to the 23rd? 13th to the 23rd. No, 14th to the 23rd. The 13th is Media Day. I'll be there, but that's not open to the public that day. So yeah, come on down, come say hello. Going to be doing all sorts of stuff. We'll be live streaming from there, but we'll be doing some trivia stuff. I'm having a lot of fun creating the trivia deck for this year's show. We started doing it last year. We did low tech. This year, we're going to employ some cool online, use your phone, engage. Like, I'm really stoked about that. Anyway, we will come back to auto show stuff. If you got questions about the auto show, let me know, because I'm fascinated. Like, there are so many things I want to see this year, and I'm excited. Excited, I say. Like things that they're debuting. Did you like? This is not. They're not paying me to do this, but I'm really excited about it. So Cadillac Canada has a bunch of people talking, but where is it? McLaren P1. They are, what is it? Mercedes B G-Wagon, a G-Turn demo. Really? Okay, that's where they do the spin. I want. I also want to, like, I still haven't sat inside of a Cybertruck. I know that a friend of mine who says they aren't really vehicles; they're just computers with wheels. I still want to see one. There's one that lives around the street from me, and I've yet to knock on their door saying, "Can I look at your Cybertruck?" Just saying. I am trying to refrain from doing that. It would be weird. Would it be weird? Maybe it's not as weird as I think. They're probably used to it by now. Okay. But to really answer your question that I completely didn't answer, why aren't they being pulled over more? This is for people going slow in the left lane. You know what? There's a focus on speeders. There's a focus on people who are more aggressive on the road, people who are putting lives at risk, people who are distracted driving and impaired driving. Those are the focuses. So, being that police aren't everywhere all the time, it's really hard to say why wasn't that person who pissed me off by going 2 kilometers below the speed limit pulled over. Well, it's just the reality is police aren't everywhere all the time. And when police officers see something that looks wrong, they generally act on it, whether it be to educate them and pull them over and say, hey, that's dangerous what you're doing. And people are going to pull and, to your right and try and pass you because you should be in the right lane if you're going slower. That's an educational opportunity. Doesn't necessarily have to result in a ticket. But, if I saw something that was egregious, I'd pull them over. And if it was something like 60 in the left lane, I'd ticket them and investigate them for impaired operation. At very least, get them off the road. All right. If you're watching and you don't already follow me, please do. This is a live stream that goes Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at the moment at 10 a.m., although I'm open to other times and dates. But yeah, let me know. If follow, and please share. Sharing this live stream and content on my channel really helps bring other people to the party. If you know people who want to know stuff and things so they don't get charged for things, know stuff before you do stuff that gets you, in trouble, share it with them because I bet you they'll really appreciate you for saying that this is something they should do. I can't tell you how many people I run into that say, you really helped me get my license or, get involved with policing, or there's been so many positive things from this show because it's been going for quite a long time. Now, I have 40,000 and change on this channel, but I left the Toronto Police Service. Okay. It says we're streaming. Yeah, it looks like we're back. I do not know why this happened, but it has happened, and it looks like we've recovered. But are we back on Instagram? It's frozen on Instagram. Do we just assume it's working? Let's see here. Are we back? Yeah, I don't know what happened. Like I tested the internet connection. It seemed to be fine. It looks like it was a Restream issue. We use Restream to share the feed. Bastard sibling says he forgot to pay his internet bill. That's funny. We'll keep it going. Let me just pull up the Carl Freeman. Good morning. We are back. I think we're back. We are back. Awesome. Good to go from FM Promotions. I got to give you a call, brother. Anyway, FM Promotions, if you're looking for people who make amazing apparel, custom apparel for your businesses, for your sports teams, talk to them. FM Promotions is in Woodbridge. I've been dealing with them since 1999. They're awesome. A family business, just awesome people, and they make great cappuccino. Just saying. Sometimes coffee flavored slushies. Anyway, I do have to talk to you though. Okay, let's get back into it. Oh, Brandon says hat is awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I made this hat yesterday. So okay, I wasn't going to talk about the hat right now, but we're going to talk about the hat right now. So something I've been meaning to do forever is create a decal or something that was VoiceOver Cop. And the VoiceOver Cop logo is not this logo. Can I put the VoiceOver Cop logo on screen? The original, the one I've been using for years. Okay. I can, and I shall, I think. Hang on. It might just be easier to show you on my phone. So the deal is that I made a logo primarily because of a $50 coupon that I got from Vistaprint. It's not the right reason to make it a logo, but it's like they're giving me $50. I'm going to put my logo on something, and I did. And now I can't find the logo. But at least I can't find. Well, you can see it on some of my social media. It was the glasses, right? It was the glasses, and then I changed it, and I actually traced these glasses and made an updated version, even with the thin blue line on. If you can see on these, there's a blue trim, and I love these glasses. So why is this important? Because I wanted to create stickers, but I thought, who wants to put VoiceOver Cop on stuff? And it's not that fun. And now I've got this gigantic beard. Why not make a new sticker? And this was what I created. What do you think? I think it's pretty cool. Because there's no background and it might be a transparent sticker by the time I finished with it. I thought I'll make the glasses blue. I got to think about blue. Blue's my color. It's a cop thing, and or a retired former cop, whatever. So that's what I created, and then I'm like, well, I got a laser cutter. And I've got a heat press, and I got to make a hat patch. I got to wear something. I got to have something for the auto show. So I went and created this hat, which is, if I'm pointing at the logo, it's on this side. And I think it looks pretty cool. I'm really excited about it. And I think it's going to be funny when people realize that I've got my, a version of my face on my hat. I think that's going to be entertaining. All right. So let's get back into, now we're talking. This morning when Minraj asked him or said cheers, I asked him what was in the glass, and he says mango lassi. I love mango lassi. Is it lassi? Lassi? I can't pronounce it right. Whatever it is, I love drinking it. There was a place I used to go to downtown that just fantastic. I like food. Just saying. It may not be hard to figure that out on your own, but there are so many wonderful and international flavors in Toronto. Being able, I talked about this maybe this week on a different show, that I would love to do just a food show where I travel Toronto and share all the great food places from a cop perspective, because we eat on the road and we're always trying new things, except for the new brand of folks who carries everything they own, food wise, in a giant multi-drawer cooler. Just saying. Okay. Okay. So weird. Let's get back into stuff and things. And by the way, if you're watching and you survived the blackout when the internet went down, but then came back, I can let you know that my name is Sean Shapiro, and this is Ask a Traffic Cop, a show on the internet that brings you someone with traffic law and safety information, also police information. Oddly enough, I'm no longer a police officer. I left at the end of August in 2024. So now I'm a former police officer, but I still know stuff and things, and I'm happy to share it with you. And with the help of Barrett Legal, We're doing it on a regular. We're doing Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 10 a.m. Yeah, they're keeping the lights on. Okay. So if you don't already follow us, please do. But yeah, we'll be here. We'll be doing this. Tell your friends. Okay. Let's say Louis or Lewis, I still haven't figured out if I'm saying it right, wants to know if it's illegal to attend a car show in a public arena. No, you said area. I should probably cut and paste this. So a public area. There are bylaws in York Region that have been implemented to prevent this, making it illegal. But it really depends on where you are, because if there's a bylaw preventing it, I think they're charging like the organizers 1,000 or 10,000, like something out, like it's big. But that's because they don't want this happening in their jurisdiction. But that's very different than a car show or meetup. So the ones that are illegal without permit, that are not allowed to be there, are illegal. Those ones are not legal. So the ones that are legal, like they did show and shines in parking lots that are absolutely permitted. I don't know if York Region requires a permit to attend, a permit to hold one. The best people to ask would be them. I will actually, you know what? I'm going to ask. I'm going to make a phone call and I'm going to talk to my friends at York Region and I'm going to find out what the story is. And then we'll talk about this Monday or Wednesday, depending on when I can actually get through to somebody. But I absolutely want to get you the answer to this question. And I think I'll make a video on it because I think it's important to prepare the public for what is and isn't permissible. That's the whole idea behind what I do. Okay. Let's see here. I got 32 new messages. Okay, hold on. I'm scrolling back. Okay. Mo Sweet says, how long were I a police officer? How long were I a police officer? How long was I a police officer? I was a member of the Toronto Police Service since the year 2000. Started as an auxiliary officer, volunteering my time. And I then became a court officer a few months later because I loved what I was doing so much as a volunteer that I wanted to do it full time, but they weren't hiring police officers. So I became a court officer and I did that, which is now special constable. Fantastic opportunity to serve the community and do a very useful and important job. Now, once they started taking applications for police constable, I was now committed. I'd been hired. I wanted to follow through with the whole court officer thing, even though a friend of mine, Neil, we sat. So they take you on a tour as a court officer and they let you sit in a cell and they say, oh, this is what it feels like to sit in a cell. This is where we're going to be working. Well, they gave him a job offer for police constable right then and there. Like he never even became a court officer. He I guess handed back the uniform and became a police constable. But I stuck with courts for a while and then eventually became a supervisor in courts, a auxiliary sergeant within the volunteer program. And then in 2012, I became a cadet in training for the Toronto Police Service. So actually, here, let's do this. Talking about the fact that the Toronto Police is hiring and they are doing a lot of it, I can show you what is up with that. Hey, a sec, let's take this off. I got too many buttons going on. Too many buttons. I really have too many buttons. Okay, we're going to do a new window here. And it is tps.ca/careers. That's going to take you to their recruiting page. And here we go. If you go to this wonderful page, is that a new picture? That's the same picture as before. Do I know who that is? Can I identify it? I don't know who that is. No, I want to know who that is. Who's the model? Okay, if you're interested in becoming a police officer, know that you can go to this website and get all the information you need to take yourself to the next step. You know what the requirements are. You can watch a cool video. Oh, which video is this?
Your future career.
I used to play this video at the end of every show. Anyway, I'm on the wrong page, I think. Okay. What is going on here? How did I end up on this? Careers. Okay. So, yeah, you got police constable, special constable, parking enforcement officer, comms, lateral, auxiliary, which is the volunteer program, and civilian roles. But however it is that you want to serve, know that you got options here. Let's see. Corporate buyer, SAP administrator, service person. I forgot to call my friend on Wednesday about that. This is someone working in the garage. Days afternoon. It's midnight, so it's 3 shift, 40 hours. Fleet Materials Management is looking for a self-motivated individual who's enthusiastic, hardworking, and works collaboratively with members of the service. This individual will tow and recover departmental and public vehicles, as well as perform minor repairs and vehicle maintenance. So I guess you don't have to be a mechanic. When I first read it, I thought it was a mechanic position, but it's not. A very good friend of mine, I think, started in this role, and now he's doing something else. Because once you get in, you can move around. What a great opportunity. Grade 12, minimum 1 year related experience. Okay. Towing stuff, 6-month probation period. You can call Ken. Okay, there's lots of options here. Anyway, great way to serve. You're still serving the community by keeping our cars on the road. Funny how people don't consider it, servants. It's a service person, but it's service to your community when you keep police cars on the road. Just saying. Okay. Okay, Food Channel would be awesome. Maybe Brandon, you're the food guy. We should talk. Okay. Randy says, "Welcome to Friday to everybody. Be safe. The best from London, Ontario." Hey, Randy, how's it going? Feels like I haven't seen you in a while, but I'm sure it's less frequent. I'm not doing this every day, so when I see your name, it's like, I see you. Okay. Let's see here. What do we got? Stream Agency says Barrett Legal should put this on a live stream on their website. Buckbank says, if only this live stream were on the Toronto Police's website to help the website visitors. Yes. Well, between Toronto Police and Barrett Legal, everyone thinks that it should be on a website, and maybe it will, but we'll talk. Okay. Why is tailgating accepted? It's not. Tailgating is not legal. It's unsafe, and that's generally what you're going to get charged for. Following too close. It's not called tailgating. It's following too close. Not safe. It leads to collisions because when someone does something up ahead, you have no reactionary gap to respond. Diana says, "Hey, haven't seen you here, and now you have." I guess not in a while. Diana, I've been here even though I left. Granted, I was on it was the old channel when I was at Toronto Police, and this is my own channel now, and I guess it's taken a while until you found me, but follow me and stay in touch and watch Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays at the moment, but eventually I hope to be going live daily again. Yeah, hit that. If you're watching on the magic of TikTok, hit that screen so your fingers going on. It really helps. So, and JS Speed. Oh, sorry, it's JA Speed. Thank you very much. I just saw you threw a gift my way. Appreciate it. Martini says, I have a joke. Martini, if you have a joke, throw it out there and yes, tell a joke here. If it's a clean joke, it's accepted. I'll put it on screen. And Soggy Dog says, why do some provinces allow side window tints and some don't? Generally speaking, there's no reason to have tints. You can have sunglasses, you can wear a visor, you can do all sorts of things to your person, but tints obscure the interior of a motor vehicle, making it unsafe for pedestrians, cyclists, other drivers, and of course, police who are approaching your vehicle to see what's going on. Not to mention the fact that they need to be able to see if you're wearing your seatbelt, using your cell phone to observe the driver to ensure they're complying with the rules and regulations of driving a motor vehicle on a road. So the reason you're not allowed, in Ontario, you can have tint, but you can't have dark tint. And it's really, really light tint that's legal. When you start going to the point where I can't see in, well, now you're talking about a $110 ticket for it. Now, why do they not allow it at all? Because they're smart. And why does Ontario? Because they don't want to be mean. We got a lot of laws that should be in place that aren't, all because we don't want to be meanies. We don't want to look like we're being unfair. Like other places let tint. How come we don't let? Like it's really, you shouldn't have anything. If you look at Alberta, I don't think they allow you to do any modifications to a vehicle. Like literally anything could lead to a ticket. And you think about it, the vehicle you're driving from the factory, they've put millions of dollars into R&D to make it the best it can be. It may not be the most high performance vehicle, but you're buying what you're buying, and it is what it is. And if you want a high performance vehicle, buy it that way, but don't take a Honda Civic and soup it up, because it's not meant for that. I mean, a lot of people do, and Honda Civics are race cars or can be race cars, but the one you're buying at home and you're building it yourself isn't really. I have to talk to Brian about this, but it's not. You buy a race car, you can buy I'm sure you can buy a factory race car from Honda, because you can buy a factory Mercedes. That's what Brian Max races. He has a team, Thays Motorsports. I think I've said that right. Or Thays Competition. They have 3 GTR GTs, GTRs. I don't know what the heck they are. Mercedes factory. I've learned so much about the racing scene because of Brian, because I had no idea. I thought you built race cars. I thought you convert and upgrade it. No, you buy them stock from the factory, and if you can't, you can tune them, but you can't modify them. Like when you're in IMSA, they all have the same specs. You can't do anything. They've been inspected. Anyway, so cool. And does that answer your question about why? Because it's unsafe to have tint, and we're too nice in Ontario. I think that's the answer. I don't have any other answer. Okay. Kuto says, thank you for your service from a judicial officer. Well, thank you very much, Kuto. As is says, we talked about that. Martini asked about the joke. We talked about that. ResQ says, I've been saying this for years. Sadly, I don't know what your comments in relation to. At least the driver right. Daytime running lights should be mandatory. Yes. And daytime running lights aren't mandatory for all vehicles. They're mandatory for new vehicles being manufactured to eventually, get rid of people. Get rid of old cars that don't have them, because they'll eventually be life cycled. But the old cars are grandfathered. Yes. Cold Laker says, good morning, Warrior Sean. I've been upgraded from second favorite cop to Warrior Sean. I appreciate it. How's it going? Cold Laker has been following the show for a long time, and I've recently jumped onto their live streams, because you've been live streaming a lot recently, I think. Akila wants to know if Barrett Legal is hiring. I don't know. I'll have to inquire. If they are, we should probably mention it here, but I don't know. Who's looking? What are you? Who wants a legal job? Who's a lawyer? Okay. Snow covering plates, got a ticket for it. Cop drives away and his plate is covered. The hypocrisy. Wow. Yeah. Here's the big question, Bones. And this is a question coming in from TikTok. If the snow was recent splatter from the road, I don't think that's an appropriate charge. If you had hard pack from the weekend and it was nice and hand packed down to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. Like if you're actively trying to prevent people from reading your plate, that's a problem. I'd ticket you. Because you're not clearing the snow off your vehicle. If, however, you cleared it and all you have is a layer of slush and mud or salt and grime, that's different. I wouldn't charge you for that. It would be ridiculous. And if you have a dash camera and you have the hypocrisy recorded, that would be very funny to bring to court. Just saying. Yeah, man, that would drive me bananas. But that's why you have a dash camera, for collisions and for stupid crap you witness. That I think that's top of the list. I've never heard anybody. That's the best story about covered plates. Okay. Fun Bobby says, it's crazy. I see people all the time driving without their headlights, even on the 401. So scary. I want to scream when I see it. I honk. I flash my lights, and they're oblivious, absolutely oblivious. Just drive on by. Mr. Menicola says, if you get into a collision, what is the steps you should do? Well, first of all, this is a tricky question. Let me have a sip of water. Got to have that water. Here's the deal. If you're in a collision, first of all, check to see if you're okay. Check to see if your passengers are okay. Call if it was serious. This is an immediate opportunity to start calling 911. If there's any injuries, even if you're unsure how bad the injuries could be, start to call 911, because sadly, sometimes it takes a while to start the process. I would take your phone with you, and I would have a look to see what the other vehicles are doing to see if it's safe to get out, because it could be calamity. It could be a lot of cars still sliding. I remember I was in a collision. It was less a collision, more of a pileup caused by an 18-wheeler going the other way, spraying snow and ice across all lanes of the opposing lanes traffic. So I was traveling southbound on the 404. Northbound 404 was an 18-wheeler spraying ice and slush. And I wasn't in a collision per se, but I had my windshield knocked out. But it was in my lap. Ice and snow landed on my windshield and knocked it into my lap. But cars were sliding out of control because it was happening to them too. They were all being blinded and damaged, and the cars were spinning out of control everywhere. That's not a place to get out of the car. Stay in the car. There's no rush to jump out and make sure that the other person's okay. The immediate thing is make sure you're okay, make sure it's safe. So once you've established that and you've determined it is safe, either that person's just come out to check on you, or you could do the other. But 911 has begun. You can always get them and say, listen, it's a lot less serious than I thought. I don't need anyone. You can change your mind, but start the process would be my suggestion. From there, determine if the vehicles are drivable, right? Are they drivable? If it's minor, now we're making plans for what's next. If they're not drivable, you're going to need a tow. You're probably going to need a police officer to attend and investigate. And if the determination is that you must wait, get in your vehicle and put your seatbelt on. Wait in the car unless there's a fire or concern issue, because the safest place for you, especially on a highway or a major thoroughfare where people are moving quickly around you, is going to be in your vehicle, unless again, there's fire or other concerns for safety. Okay, let's go back to minor situation. It's a minor fender bender. The cars appear to be, drivable. You're going to want to exchange information, not just because you want to, but because you legally have to. That includes providing your information to witnesses and to involved parties. Oddly enough, they're both entitled to your information because they may be called upon. And that information, like your driver's license, your insurance, your ownership, and telephone number, are good things to share and have shared with you. If someone's refusing to exchange that information, that's police, because they have to. And if they don't, there might be a reason. They may not be licensed, they may not be insured, might be a stolen vehicle. There's so many what ifs. So if there's someone who isn't cooperative that way, call police. In the event that there's alcohol, drugs, or any criminality involved, call police. But those are the basic steps. And if anyone wants to chime in with anything you think I've missed, please let me know. But let's keep going with other stuff and things. Okay. One call. I don't know what Joey's comment is. Bill says 10 over. Were we talking about speed? Tokus says, happy Friday, Mr. Shapiro. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Happy Friday to you too. Oh, Soggy Dogs says officers shouldn't have a gray area of deciding to write a ticket or not. I'm incredibly I'm really disagreeing with you. I'm really disagreeing with you. I think discretion is incredibly important. If I pull you over and I have to give you a ticket, does that mean I should pull over everybody for everything? Because if I have to pull you over, then I have to pull over everybody for one over. I have to. You're telling me I have no discretion. I have to. Anything I see, witness or otherwise, I have to enforce. That's ridiculous. That would grind the legal system to a halt. We'd never be available for anything because there's so many people breaking minor laws. We'd never find anyone beyond 5 feet of our station. We would do nothing but focus on the incredibly minor stuff. So then you say, well, okay, fine. Don't do the minor stuff. Do the next step up. So what is that? Because there's a lot of people breaking a lot of laws every single day on the road. So if you make it that I have no choice, well, I think we shouldn't do that with police. I think we should install cameras everywhere. Like the pilot project that I was talking about earlier, where the TTC is going to have cameras for people who blow by the open doors. So they're putting pedestrians or those that are getting on and off the vehicle at risk. Yeah, those people absolutely need to be charged, and police officers aren't there at every stop all the time. So that's something where you put those zero tolerance machines in place. Red lights, stop signs, speeding. I agree that there needs to be more enforcement, but zero tolerance and no opportunity for someone to get a break, I don't agree with that. I've pulled people over who are doing 10, 15 over, and I've had the discretion to lower the speed or not charge them at all, because that's how it works. I have discretion. If you make it where I have no discretion, does that mean the officer chooses not to enforce the law at all because they don't like? At what point does it make sense to have no discretion? Because discretion doesn't start after I pull you over. It starts as to whether or not I pull you over. So if I have to charge everybody and I have to pull, like, you see where I'm going with this? I'm going to get off this topic because I'm just going to get into circles of saying you're wrong and giving you lots of reasons why. But if somebody else wants to weigh in on this, let me know. And I really want to bring somebody on. I'm working on getting I have an 800 number for Better Traffic, which is the organization that I've co-founded that basically hosts Ask a Traffic Cop with the help of Barrett Legal. But we have an 800 number, but it's not really intended for live guests. But I want to get one that is set up for live guests. T-Dot wants to know if I'm Ben Shapiro's cousin. I could be. I don't know. We've never talked. I've never gone over for the holidays. Thank you to Brian and my wife for sharing the live stream. All right, we got Johan Norris, welcome back. I believe we've spoken before. They said lots of cyber trucks in my neighborhood. I mean, like spoken on the show, because I've said Johan before. I remember that. Lots of Cybertrucks, really? That's very cool. I have a deposit of $150 still on a Cybertruck that I put on like years ago when they first announced it. I was right there with my credit card. I don't know if I still want one. I'm not sure. And it's not because I don't like Elon. I do like Elon. I think he's doing great things for this planet in terms of, space and Twitter. Like I like what he's done. A lot of people hating on him right now. I saw I'm in a Cybertruck group on Facebook because as someone with a confirmation number, we all started groups going, we can't wait for this. And then we got tired of waiting. But anyway, he put out a picture that he had changed the name of his Cybertruck to F Elon. That's his Cybertruck name. And the amount of ribbing he got in the comments was hilarious because they're like, oh yeah, Elon cares. Nobody cares. Okay. Bastard sibling wants to know if I'm going to ticket someone for a dirty reverse camera. Well, A, it's not a charge. My comment was really because I myself had forgotten to clean mine, and then I wanted to use it. And I drive a big truck, so the rear view mirror is useless. You can use your mirrors, but you really get a benefit from especially when you're backing up in confined areas. You don't want to hit anything. It's helpful. I can't believe how many people were upset. Like the number of comments were, you got mirrors, dude, learn to drive. Or if someone can't drive with their mirrors, they shouldn't be driving. Well, you do need to be able to drive with your mirrors in order to be licensed, and I appreciate that. What I don't think is that mirrors are the end all be all only option. If you can't use those, or if you rely on a camera that could make you safer, that you should make fun of that. I mean, yes, learning to drive, you should know the old school way. But a lot of people say I drive with my mirrors. Well, they're not doing a good job either, because the right way to back up would be to get your ass off the seat, up and over, driving with one hand in your face, looking out the back window. That's how you're supposed to do it. Old school. But people are like, well, but I use my mirror. Well, mirrors don't show you the full picture. You're actually seeing more with the camera in most situations. So, but yeah, no, it's not a ticket, even if I was still a cop. Richard Fisher 488 says, police officer asked if I ever went fishing. He then asked if I ever caught all the fish. 100%. If ever, being asked, why don't you stop everybody? The truth is you can't. You don't. And there are so many. You catch what you catch. You can't catch everybody. And that's how you deal with the whole concept of, am I being effective as a police officer? Here's the deal. If I stop you and charge you, and you go home and you tell everybody how pissed off you are that you got a ticket, well, first of all, you're telling people that we're out there doing our job, holding people accountable, which is great. You're advertising that enforcement works. You're creating some element of fear or consequence that somebody else might say, I should think twice before I do dumb stuff on the road, because someone might. And the problem is that we have so few police officers available for traffic enforcement in general across the planet, not a Toronto thing or any particular police service, but there's so few because there's so many other calls for service. People calling because little Bobby won't do his homework. People calling because they weren't addressed appropriately in their offense. Like, people call the police for the wrong reason. They waste a lot of time. And what does that mean? It means that police officers can't do all the proactive stuff they'd like to do. But if we put cameras everywhere, we might actually get to the point where people start driving lawfully, because the risk of getting caught will go up tremendously, like to a guarantee. So, but I do like that analogy about going fishing. You can't catch them all. There's also one about a bull and a herd. Owen wants to know, what do you think about people sliding in a controlled area, for example, empty parking lots? Well, sliding in a controlled area, if you're doing it for the purposes of stunt driving, is illegal in the province of Ontario, and their charges for stunt driving apply on private property. So I think it's not a good idea. I think it's not something you should do. I think that you would get charged for stunt driving if you were caught, which would come with a consequence of $2,000 to $10,000 in fines, a 1 to 3 year driving prohibition, and of course that is all after the immediate 14-day vehicle impound and a 30-day suspension of your license. And why do I say it's important? People are destroying people's property. Like the Canadian Tire parking lot doesn't belong to you; it belongs to them, and it gets damaged when people do sliding stuff. Now, is there a place to do it? Yeah, a legal track, or an event that has a permit to be there that is lawfully in operation. Then I have no problem with it. But an empty parking lot that belongs to somebody else, where you may or may not be putting someone, if at very least they're putting yourself at risk. Not okay. I'm not okay with it. Now, as a kid, I was okay with it because I did it. I did all those things that everyone, like, I didn't do burnouts. I was driving a front wheel drive Buick Park Avenue as my first car, but e-brake turns and swooshing, like, stupid stuff. A lot of fun, but really stupid. That had nothing to do with learning how to drive in the snow. That was just goofing around. So what do you do for learning how to drive appropriately? You drive and you find out where the threshold of control and loss is, not by being goofy, but by driving in a fairly normal fashion and then learning how to recover from it, but not doing burnouts and donuts and so on. Okay, on to the next. Soggy dogs are, so earlier we had some technical difficulties, and I know we've hit the 45-minute mark, but I got a few more minutes to chat with you. Better Traffic Safety Education, that's the company that if you go to bettertraffic.ca, you'll see a blog where I'm posting to. You'll also see that those articles posted on X and on LinkedIn. Just saying. But we'll put this here. We'll put it away because it's really bright. Very, very big poster. Yeah, I lost my own train of thought. We'll go through and try and catch up with a couple questions, and I've got possibly some more dad jokes. Scrolling through. Okay. Yeah, bastard sibling for earlier when the internet went out, he had said, I forgot to pay my internet bill. I thought about that, and that wasn't the case. Although, we're at the mercy of the internet, which doesn't always cooperate. Okay. What is it like having a discussion and losing train of thought because your stream froze? I lived that. Okay. Take photos. Gotta with. Oh yeah. So earlier we were talking about what things you should do when you're in a collision, and Kay Kurd says get a witness, take photos. You're absolutely right. Hopefully you have a dash camera. What do we got here? Alberta allows everything? I don't think so. Michaela said that. You can modify or cannot modify. Pretty sure, having spoken to the RCMP out there, you cannot modify anything. Is it illegal to drink alcohol and ride a bike non-motorized? It's not impaired driving, so that requires a vessel or a motor vehicle, which a true bicycle is not, because an e-bike, you would be eligible for charges of impaired operation. But the deal with the whole pedal bike, you could be charged for public intox, but not the other. Thank you, Brian, for sharing the live. Chips says, the beard holy. Just speed bosses. Can I G-ride a bike in the GTA or an M drive a car? I don't get the single digit. Can I go ride a bike in the GTA, or am I gonna? I don't understand the question. I want to. Okay. Somebody said too much beard. It's very funny. Now, first of all, I am growing it out, and I acknowledge that it's a bit unruly at the moment, but I'm growing it out because I want to go and see what I can do in terms of, I've never had it this long. So I want to go to a beard professional and get some advice as to what to do. But I had attempted to trim it. I kind of screwed it up. So I'm not touching it until I go to a professional. Okay. Scrolling to try and catch up. I do want to try and catch up. Let's see here. And Cold Laker says, take pictures of the collision and send in those to your insurance. Dash cam. Absolutely. That's what I say. That's the best picture. Oh, G-Ride is Ghost Ride. Gotcha. Okay. So you wanted to know if you can, is that what we're talking about? You want to know if you can ghost ride a bike in the GTA or M drive a. So we still haven't got the whole message. We're trying to decode. Are you allowed to eat or drink while driving, like sipping a coffee? Well, that's something in Alberta or in British Columbia is illegal. That would be considered, I think, distracted driving by the laws there. But in Ontario, you can have a sip of coffee. Now, if you talk to driving professionals, like my friend, the safe driver, he will tell you that you shouldn't. Like anything more than a lozenge, you shouldn't do because it's distraction and you're not focused on driving. And he's right. However, it's not illegal. It's not a good idea. Now, if you were, drinking a bottle of water like this, and to try and get the very last drop, you're staring at the ceiling and you're weaving all over the world. That's careless driving. That would be careless driving. And 3 wants to know if I retired, and I did. I left at the end of August. I retired from policing. I am no longer a police officer. It is weird. Okay, Bastard Sibling says, are there jobs within the police service that avoids being a street soldier that could lead to dangerous situations? Well, any of the non-uniform administrative stuff there are, but in terms of like they're parking enforcement officers, you're not a street soldier, but you're at risk. How hard is the OACP exam? I don't know, Charles, because it was very different when I took it years ago. Okay. Nexus says cars are built to legal specifications. Now people are arguing whether it's legal or not illegal to modify. Okay. Just Speed Boss says, but they still tune and soup those stock race cars. Depends on the racing circuit you're on. Like IMSA, they tune, but they can't modify. It's important to know. Like the biggest difference they do is put a livery on the outside, from my understanding. And of course I could be wrong, but I've been talking about this for many moons with Brian Max, who owns a racing team and is a professional race car driver. Nick wants to know if there's anything to get away around not being allowed to have tint on the windows because of their eyes are sensitive to sunlight. In the province of Ontario, doctor's note are not available. So hang on a second. Just gotta tell them I'm still streaming because no, that's not the right button. Oh well. I sent them the voicemail. So yeah, you can't get a doctor's note. It is not a province that allows, there's no exemptions, but you can buy sunglasses. You can buy the big old ones for 90-year-olds that cover everything. You can wear, you can prevent your eyes from being sensitive without tinting your windows. So it's not a justification. Certain provinces allow you to either pay a license or get an exemption, but not here. Crampty86 wants to know if a cop can give him a ticket while they're parked, because I just got one. What was the offense? Because you can get a ticket for something you did on the road after you put it in park. So what was the ticket for? I want to know. And thank you for Jesse's, I didn't get the whole username, but who followed me on X. But yeah, Crampty, let me know. And if I don't catch it, send it in the DMs. Benoit Outdoor says, I'm about to cut off my exhaust just for you. Don't do it for me because I don't care. It doesn't have anything to do with me. It's the ticket you're going to get for no exhaust, improper or no exhaust. Okay. Bastard Sibling wants to know, how did it feel driving a Crown Vic? By far the worst vehicle on earth for driving in snow. I'll tell you, I love the Crown Vic. Most comfortable, best police car, in my opinion. I wasn't a fan of the Ford Explorer when it came out. I found it very uncomfortable once you put the center console in, which was a metal bar that my knee rested on. It was horrible. I put Velcro. I tried putting anything I could to make it more comfortable. They got better in the later release years once we adopted them. But generally speaking, I was comfortable in the Crown Vic. The most comfortable, though, Harley Davidson. Run it wants to know, how come you guys take 100 years to get to important calls but are quick to ticket people? Well, you have to understand that when we see someone and you're right there breaking the law in front of us, we're there. So it's easy to do. If you call us and we're dealing with something at one end of Toronto and you need us to go to the other end of Toronto where you need us to be, we have to drive. And have you ever tried driving in Toronto? It's not good. Toronto's an hour away from Toronto. So why does it take a long time? Because police officers get called to go from call to call to call to call to call. In fact, when police officers sign on in the morning or at the beginning of their shift, they probably have 10 or 15 calls in queue waiting for someone to go to, because you can't be at a call and go to another call. You're at a call, you're stuck there. So then how many available officers is a dwindling number? If everyone goes to a serious call and they can't leave that call, now when there's no officers, they have to call a neighboring division for officers because there's no officers, because we're understaffed. And even if we were perfectly staffed, we have more business than we can handle because we need more people. Even if you're properly staffed, you're going to be running at capacity. But Runit says, solve some real crimes, LOL. You guys really make $100K to chill and annoy people. And then they said, solve some real crimes, LOL. Toronto has too much gun violence, but the issues are people speeding. Well, I get to go off on you now. $110,000 is what full pay is right now, but it should be higher because police officers do incredible work, sacrifice themselves, their family life, and so much more in service of the public, putting their lives at risk, many of whom do not come home because they are tragically killed in the line of duty or injured and unable to, or even if they survive, wear battle scars mentally that take them for the rest of their days. They are giving of themselves to serve the community. But I do appreciate when people, speak out and suggest that they're terrible, bad people for doing this wonderful work. But let's talk about violent gun crime. How many people, now granted, there are some numbers that are up and we're seeing people who are being robbed and so on. Are the majority of people being robbed or being shot and killed random people trying to get to work? Probably not. There are more generally and historically more people dying of serious injury and death due to the motor vehicle collisions out on the road than there are of violent crime. In fact, statistically, more death and destruction with vehicle collisions than all violent crime combined. But because it offends you, we should stop policing that and just deal with the other. Thank you for coming out. Okay. Durble says, love you, love the info. Thank you. Thank you for the thank you. And then what do we got here? Heard there's a pileup collision on Highway 11 southbound. Sad. Oh, listen, weather is something you can't mess with. People need to slow the hell down in serious weather, because there is no way to just keep driving like it's summertime. Oddly enough, summer tends to be the worst accidents, worst collisions. What is this? Does the suspension go away on a driving abstract? So there is an absolute lifetime record, and police can access that. When it comes to the wonderful, is it wonderful? But the insurance being able to see, they say 3 years, and then it goes away. Buck says, you're a really great streamer. Thanks, Buck. I appreciate you. Brian says, have a great day. Oh, I missed what they say. Brian with hockey sticks and Canadian flag says, you are amazing. But later said, have a great day. Bye for now. Christopher Carlson says, don't listen. The beard's awesome. But has a question and says, I'm from Saskatchewan and have a $118 407 bill from 2 years ago. Can I just ignore it? Here's the thing. Your license plates, well, I don't know what the authority is for suspending your license plates, for making them not able to renew. Like if Saskatchewan communicates with Ontario for the purposes of the 407, then they would be able to prevent you from renewing your license plates, which would make you invalid on the road. So I don't know if there's a reciprocal agreement, but for $118, do you need to really avoid them? I would just pay it. And I appreciate times are tough, but if it's your bill, I would suggest paying it. There are people in Ontario who cannot renew their licenses, and they have $20,000, $30,000 bills from the 407. They don't forget. So my suggestion wouldn't be to ignore it. I would do it. Wasabimi wants to know, what is your next vacation? So I don't know. I have put a a hold or a I want to go on a cruise, and there's a really cool one for next year in Japan. I really want to go to Japan because I'm 6'5" and I want to feel tall. But aside from that, I want to see Japan. A friend of mine has gone once for 3 weeks and loved it so much he's going back for another 3 weeks. I really want to go. I want to take my family. I want to go to Disney in Japan. But more realistically, probably going to go to Florida. Patriano. I'm going to mess up your name. Pat Rianco. Maybe that works. Can you install blue underglow lighting on a sport motorcycle, or does it have to be green? And the light itself can't be visibly. It got cut off. So I used to have blue glow in the engine compartment of my motorcycle, and if it's not projecting out, I don't think there's any legal issue with it. If it's bouncing off the engine compartment, if it's just a glow inside and not actually, if the bulbs are not actually visible to anyone, just the glow, I think it's legal. I would not ticket for that. I support that police officers should not ticket for it unless it's shining a light in your eyes. If the bulbs are visible, then you're looking for a ticket. The law says you can't project anything but white or amber to the front, and you can't project anything red or amber to the rear. So obviously blue, green, anything like that is a problem. Green is a restricted color for volunteer fire and medics. Blue is, if flashing, a restricted color for snow removal. And it could be a problem. And the biggest problem is that there's confusion. Not every police officer understands the inner workings and whether or not it's going to be something that should or should not be enforced. So, yeah. Tien says, Florida, the U.S. equivalent of Japan. I don't know, because I don't think I want to eat at a 7-Eleven in Florida, but a 7-Eleven in Japan apparently has the best food. Just saying. Okay. I like how Big Block 468 says, you can do whatever you want, but you can't, because freedom isn't freedom. There's rules. It's not do whatever the hell you want. It's follow the rules. Tim says, I would take the 407 and pay to avoid driving through Toronto on the 401. I absolutely, if I have to be somewhere, would do the same. Now, my route planner, I use Waze whenever I go anywhere, not because I don't know where I'm going, but because I like an estimate on my time of arrival, and I want to know how much it's going to cost me if I use the 407, and it calculates what it is going to cost you. So that's a thing. And if I have to be somewhere, I can choose the route based on the amount of time it's going to take me to get there. If I need to be there a half an hour earlier and I'm going to get that actual benefit, I may want to pay 20 or 30 bucks to do that. It sucks, but if I have to get somewhere, I'll pay. If I'm not in a rush, or if I don't want to spend 30 bucks because it's 3 minutes or 8 minutes difference and you still have to pay, well, no, I'm going to take the longer route. So know before you go. That's funny. Somebody wanting to know if bacon, if a police officer eats bacon, is it cannibalism? Funny, but not funny. I mean, it's funny, but it's not really funny. Okay. What is this? A bunch of stuff just reloaded. By the way, if you don't already follow me, please do. Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 10 a.m. Eastern is when I'm currently going live, although I want to do some nighttime stuff. And yeah, I think that the night shows were pretty cool. I was doing those right after I retired, and I think it was nice to have the alternate timing. Let me know what you think about that. Oh, and just a reminder, if I got to press this button before I can press that button. If you're going to the auto show, 800 level near the test track is where the Toronto Police booth is. Come by and say hello, because that will be fun. We'll be live streaming and doing some game show stuff. Yeah. And Tim says road rage is on the rise. I think that's reality. I think people are just stressed out about a whole bunch of things. When you mess with people's money, the ability to feed their families, they get a little anxious. And then when you add other crisis, causing things like heavy traffic and people acting like idiots on the road, they're going to snap, right? So there's road rage because they were already idiots, and there's road rage because people are just in crisis, and neither are good. Here's the deal: if you are in a situation where someone's being aggressive towards you, just back off. Let them go. Like, it's not worth it. You're not going to make their day better, and they're certainly not going to make yours better. Would I get a ticket if I have a magnet on my car that says designated driver without taxi insurance? I have no idea. I don't think that. Oh, if you don't charge, I don't know how your insurance is going to go. If they found out you were offering just rides to randoms, but I don't know if that's a violation of your insurance. But a magnet that says designated driver is not against the law. Taking a fare as a taxi would invalidate most insurance policies. So make sure you have. If you're not taking a fare, that's cool. If you are taking a fare, make sure you have appropriate coverage, or become an Uber and get paid for it. Petrianko says, I don't want to give them a reason to pull me over for Blue Underglow. If you want to avoid being pulled over for any particular reason, then don't give anyone an invitation to have a talk with you. You can be pulled over for any reason, but why make yourself stand out? Why are they going after slammed cars? Well, slammed cars is if it's not done properly, is unsafe. They would take your plates. So essentially, if there's any potential, or not just potential, if there's any proof that there is tire to frame, tire to body contact, even with minor compression of your suspension, if it's truly slammed, that's the problem. Like, it has to be done legitimately. Like, if you're going to drop your Mustang, which is what you said you're going to do, make sure it's done properly, not a cheap Amazon, spring job. Make sure you do it right and do it safely. Also, if you do it so low that you can't even go up a driveway, and you're going to beat yourself, you have to do the 45-degree angle, trying to get up. Oh, it's so pathetic. Don't do that. Lower it properly. Lower it to a safe level where it's still functional, even if it doesn't look as awesome. And make sure you don't have the camber beyond that of a legal limit. Okay. Big Block says, you're going after the young kids. Police think vehicle is unsafe. Yeah, if it's unsafe, it's unsafe. What is this? Just Cringe is saying cringy stuff. Okay, Barry says, hi, Sean. Hi, Barry. And says you might get a broader audience with night shows for sure. Although 10 a.m. has been really good. Like, I've been doing 10 a.m. shows forever, years now. It used to be 8 a.m., then 9 a.m., then 10 a.m., and 10 a.m. has been pretty good. But you're right. The truth is, we used to have 16,000 viewers per live, and now those stats are lower. Right now we're at 3,500 likes. Say how many? 800 views, which normally would be 5,000 on any given day. Like any day I went live, it was 5,000. And even when I left, I was still getting 5,000. Maybe we need to investigate other times. Mike says Waze calculates 407 trips. Yeah, it does. Okay. Is the Ontario driver's license check website accurate? iDoctor pulled mine, but I'm still valid. Interesting. It may not be up to date. Now, if your iDoctor pulled it, did he send a piece of paper and it has yet to be processed? Because it doesn't happen instantly. I don't think they have direct access. Someone has to process their paperwork. Police officers can suspend your license instantaneously. We have direct MTO access. Trying to catch up. We are working towards the end of the show. Oh, Liz says, I was 5 years old when my dad joined TPS as a parking enforcement officer, a Green Hornet at the time. I remember him coming home on crutches, arm in a sling, stitches on his hand, as people were mad with their parking tickets. Yeah, they get assaulted on the regular. Sorry to hear that, but thank you for your dad's service. Parking enforcement officers are super important. I was out thanking parking enforcement officers only a few days ago because they were helping in the school zone, keeping the cars from the no stopping zones, which create problems. People are stopping in crosswalks to drop off their kids because they're ignorant and lazy. Other things that I could say, but I won't. Baljit says, hey. Baljit says hi. Then we got, oh, you're very welcome, Petranko. Isaac says hello. Okay. What's up with MAS? You guys have it in Toronto. MAS is mandatory alcohol screening. It means that any police officer pulling you over, if they have that device on hand, can make a demand for your roadside screening device right then and there without the suspicion of you having any alcohol in your blood. It used to be that you pulled someone over and you said, I smell alcohol, or you've admitted to me that you've had alcohol, and that gave me grounds or suspicion that you had alcohol in your blood, and that would be the justification to make a demand. Well, now, since 2018, in Canada, police officers, it's across Canada, can simply say, I'm making a demand based on mandatory alcohol screening, and that requires you to now provide a breath sample. And it's great. It's a great system. So many people who don't present with alcohol, like at 9 in the morning, like if you're doing ride or an officer, it says, I'm going to do every fifth vehicle that I stop, I'm going to do mandatory alcohol screening. They catch people all the time, people you'd never expect. So we do have it. Now in Ontario, Ontario Provincial Police at one point was making it every single car stopped was being, they were deploying or employing mandatory alcohol screening. So if you got pulled over for speeding, boom, you're getting a MAS demand. What do I do with what can I do? A person with a car hit my house. He is not from this country and doesn't have insurance. This is why you have house insurance. Yeah, that sucks. But hopefully police were called and attended. And I'm not an insurance professional. I don't know, but there is a fund for uninsured persons to cover liability for certain things, not to give them benefit, but to give you benefit. I would consult your insurance for your house, and then I would consult insurance for your car. Just somebody in the insurance field that can give you better information. Okay. Tim says, I think it's awesome that you take time to do lives. I've noticed that the OPP have live updates too. Really? Where? On which platform? On TikTok? I didn't know they were back. They had left the platform and they were instructed they weren't allowed to be here. But they are like Kerry Schmidt from the OPP does a lot of live streaming. He does it on other platforms or has been doing it on other platforms. It's great if he's back on TikTok. Okay. And Baljit says, Happy Valentine's. Are we there yet? We're not there yet. That's next week. But thank you. Justin Cringe says, I can drink a whole pint and still be illegal because I'm a big hot. What does that mean? I mean a big shot. I don't know what you mean, but no, everyone's different. And being legal doesn't mean that you're not impaired. You can still be charged for impaired operation, even if you're not over 80 milligrams, because you could be acting in such a way that you're impaired by drugs or alcohol, even if but other people may be fine. You could be fine. Why put yourself in that situation? Okay. Eva says, love the new look. Is it the hat? Is it the beard? Is it the Transformers shirt? I don't know. Or just the whole Barrett Legal Ask a Traffic Cop background. Let me know. I want to know what's working, what's not. Danny ABD says, nice hat. Thank you very much. I love it. I made it yesterday. I actually made it yesterday. So I'm wrong side. I laser engraved the patch, and then I have a heat press, and I glued it. I glued it on. And that's me in the patch. That's the oh no, here I have to switch this. I'm gonna make stickers too. But that's just the black and white version of that sticker. I had too much fun with that. My kids like it too. I may have to start like putting the logo on stuff. Eva said the beard, loving it, and then said, okay, the hat and the beard, LOL. Okay. K24 says, if you've thrown up, no alcohol in your system, it will say you're over the legal limit. Is it true? So if it's not in your blood, it shouldn't be registering, assuming, like if you threw up 10 seconds before you did your test, you're going to have mouth alcohol. You're going to have undigested alcohol in your mouth. I'm assuming. I'm not a breath tech, but I'm just using the logic. Because if you've taken a drink, like they want to make sure you're 15 minutes from your last drink before they do a test to avoid having any mouth alcohol in the system. So that's what you'd be presenting alcohol into your system again if you puked it up. So they'd want to wait 15 minutes. But if you're puking, your system is not empty. If you're puking from alcohol, if you're puking from the oysters that you had with the alcohol, maybe it's not the alcohol. Too funny. Okay. Justin Cringe says, thanks for these shows, Sean. You're very welcome, Justin. And user ampersand $sign says, question mark. All right. I'm just going to have a look here. Oh my God. my back hurts. Let's see here. It's time for dad jokes, and Akela reminds me. What is this? Oh, yeah. What is this? I have not tried. Manraj wants to know if I've tried this dish that I can't even pronounce. So I'm gonna assume I have not. But apparently I should try it. Okay. Dad jokes. Do I have the dad jokes flagged? Do I have any more? Here we go. Here's a dad joke. I haven't worn clothes for 12 months. I'm on a 1-year streak. Yeah. I mean, it's not the best joke, but it's not terrible. Why are force ghosts so relaxed? Nothing gets under their skin. Force ghosts. You got to know Star Wars. And even then, it's like, a little bit, a mild. Any other dad jokes before I move on? Quote, if things go wrong, don't go with them. Yeah, I can work with that. Roger's talking the truth. Here we got Evandro. I missed your statement earlier, Evandro. I wasn't trying to ignore you. I was driving and saw a car with the front side windows blocked with ice. Is this also subject to a fine? It is. Driver view obscured, whether it be ice or tint, absolutely. You can be charged $110. So there is that. Do I have any other questions from you? Let me scroll back. I think that was from earlier. I flagged it and then totally ignored it. I think we're it. I think we're done. I think we're up. If there's nothing else, I have a gavel here. One day I'm going to actually tap the gavel and say, we're calling it a show. But that's it. So I'm gone. Have a wonderful weekend. Drive safely. And yeah, drive sober. Drive park legally. Drive safely. Plan your route if you're going out and partying. I'm not even going to go out this weekend. I think I'm just going to stay inside and pretend it's not snowing. Turn the heat up. Now, if you want to join us again, we'll be back on Monday, but I think I'll have to do my live stream a little bit late. I have a morning appointment, so maybe we'll try an 11 o'clock Monday live stream. I think that'll work. What are my appointments on Monday? I'll announce it. If you follow me on X, you'll be able to find out what time I'm going live before I go live, because I'll schedule it. But yeah, we'll do this again on Monday. And then Wednesday is media day. Do I take you for a tour of the auto show before the auto show opens? Maybe. Or maybe we push it off and we do Thursday and Friday and Saturday and Sunday and Monday and Tuesday. Because I'm going to be at the auto show. I'll be live streaming at various times throughout the day, every day at the auto show. Anyway, be safe. We will talk to you soon. And as Akela says, Akela says a lot of things, but where's his thing where he says it? Isn't it here? He says, don't have a good day, have a great day. Have a great weekend. Be well. Big Block, we'll see you there at the auto show. Eva says, have a great weekend. So does Justin. See you, Tim. Oh, Mikey wants to know, when driving, is it illegal to drive with hazard lights on when visibility diminishes? You shouldn't be driving if you can't see. You want to read an article about that? Go to x.com @voiceovercop. I hope I have an article published right there. You can also get it at bettertraffic.ca. I've got that article published there as well. All right, I'm really